Good evening, my baby. Well, good afternoon. I am in the process. I'm getting ready to make an oil. One of the oils that's going to go up on my shop. I'm hoping to have the shop up by this weekend, you guys, with a few items. My brain is constantly going, so I'm constantly thinking of different things to put up on the website. And I think that's what's been kind of taking me a bit of time because I felt like I didn't want to put something out. I didn't want to put the website out and make it available with just a tiny few items, with like 4 or 5 items. I didn't feel as though that would be fair. Um, so in my head, I wanted to kind of almost, for lack of a better term, overload the website with products and then put it out to you all. So it's been a pretty mentally stressing situation getting the store out. Not necessarily in a bad way. I know you're kind of thinking like, how can that not be considered bad? But I've enjoyed every moment of it. So yeah, it's kind of like I take it as a challenge. But I've come to the conclusion that it's okay to not have a shop full of items on grand opening, especially considering the fact that this is an online botanica. No, I'm not just going to have 4 or 5 items out there. It'll probably be a good dozen, probably a good dozen items out. Mostly oils. I have maybe 2 or 3 candles that I'm going to put out there. I still have a few more that I want to make, but mostly oils. So that's actually what I'm getting ready to do right now is make an oil. But I also figured that I would come to you all and talk to you about some things, and I'm really hoping you all can hear me. Um, yeah, I wanted to talk about um, making a deal with spirit or making a deal with deities for your workings and paying what you owe. Okay, so I know there are a few newbie witches out there who are really kind of just getting started out in the craft, and um, even a few of the old spiritualists out there. They have their deities that they work with and their spirits or whatever. Um, I'm just cleansing this out with some Palo Santo. So yeah. Well, how did I do that? Okay. When you make these deals with these spirits, when you come to a deity and you ask them, you petition them for their help. You petition their help for whatever whatever situation it is that you want worked on, right? Sorry, my neighbor. Um, yeah, you petition them for their help, okay? So you tell them, what the hell? You tell them, okay, well, so and so, um, I'm trying to think of a deity that I can use for example, but I'm kind of really private about things that I work with. So, but anyway, hypothetically speaking, say you were petitioning, I don't know, Sekhmet or whatever deity, okay? There are some deities that you can petition with um, cakes and ale, right? There are some spirits that you cannot give spirits to, and spirits in the sense of alcohol or liquor or something like that, because for one, they don't, some don't like it, and there are a few out there that will kind of get a little drunk and out of control and not necessarily do a good job, for lack of a better term, when it comes down to your petition. Um, that being said, make sure you know who it is that you're working with and who it is that you're petitioning, and you're familiar with them, and you know what type of offerings to give and what type of offerings to stay away from. Because you have a lot of us like to, I'm not gonna say a lot of us, but I see a lot of people that are offering tobacco in the sense of cigars and things like that. And sometimes they light the cigar and they blow the smoke on, whatever it is that they have as a representation of that particular entity. And there are a lot of spirits, especially in the pantheon that I follow, that like cigars, but there are also quite a few that don't like cigars, and you can actually offend them with cigar smoke. Let's see what else. Offerings of food and things of that nature. Now, this is kind of this was kind of an issue for me way back when I was living in an apartment complex that, let's just say, was not the cleanest when it came to my neighbors. So my neighbor on this side of me had roaches, and the neighbor below me had roaches. And I mean, roaches, they travel, they go different places. So I personally would not feel comfortable when making food offerings. A lot of times we take our food offerings, it'll be like maybe like a little salsa dish, like when you cook your dinner and you fix your plate and you fix your family plate, you would fix your deity's plate or your spirit's plate or your ancestors' plate. You would put it on a little salsa. I mean, they didn't need a big, giant Thanksgiving helping or anything, no shit like that, but you would make their plate and sit it on their altar. So, I'm going to get started on this oil. You would make their plate and sit it on their altar, right? And then, I mean, everybody pretty much had their different opinions on how long you should leave the offerings out. Some people said, leave it out for just long enough to where, right after you and your family finished your food, your meal, you would clean their area up as well. Some people feel as though you can leave it up there for a few days. Some people feel as though you can leave it up there until it begins to rot, or like if you no longer would eat it, then it's time for you to take it up and get rid of it. If I subscribe to the first portion, as far as like leaving out food, I would always leave it out for as long as I was eating, because I mean it wasn't a family to feed, it was just me. And then I would pick it up, and sometimes I would take my meal and I would sit in front of my altar and have my meal with whatever entity, spirit, or deity that I was working with. And once I was done, I would pick their food. If I wouldn't throw it out, I would offer it to my dog. Like, say if it was like some type of meat product, like chicken or something like that. If it was fried chicken, I'll peel the skin off and offer it to that crazy thing. You see that thing right there? You see that? I would offer it to that nutcase right there. Sometimes you could take that food to the crossroad. You could take it to a cemetery. You could even take that food and go to a local spot where the homeless are known to be, and give it to a homeless person. Yeah. That's if the food is still fresh. Don't I'm not talking about in the instance where the food has started to rot. Don't do that. If the food has started to rot, um, me personally, I don't even think I would have come to a point where I would have left it up that long. Because of bugs. Bugs creep and skeeve me out. I can't deal with bugs. Um, and then just, I mean, I'm not a real big person on leftovers. Like I don't eat leftovers the day after too often, because I don't like the way leftovers smell. Like it just doesn't have that fresh smell, especially if it's come out of the microwave. So if I don't like it, I don't want my spirit sitting up, you know, having to smell that shit day in and day out until we decided to get off our ass and move it from their area. But that's just my opinion. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. Um, so yeah, but there's different ways of disposing it. Like I said, you can get rid of it at a crossroads. You can get rid of it at a cemetery. You can give it to the homeless if it's still fresh. You could throw it in a river or a lake or the ocean, different things like that. If it started to rot, you can bury it in compost, um, stuff like that. So yeah. What else? Let's see. So that's kind of like offerings, so it's like feeding your spirits. When it comes down to offerings in the sense of petitions, it's very, 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 very important that you pay what the fuck you owe. Because listen, there, excuse me, there are some hot-headed spirits out there that will, um, you don't pay them what the hell you said you was gonna pay them, they will come into your life and fuck shit up. I'm talking about wreak havoc. They will take what they gave you. They will take shit that ain't have nothing to do with giving you. But you want to be disrespectful and you don't want to pay me what you owe me and what you, a deal was a deal, whatever gentleman's shake or whatever, spit shake, pinky promise, all of that shit. You didn't go by what it was that you said you was gonna do. So I'm gonna take it as a sign of ultimate disrespect, and I'm gonna swoop off in your life, and I'm gonna raise hell. By the time I leave, it's gonna be smoke in the distance. Okay. So you definitely want to pay what it is that you owe. If you say you're going to give them something, that's why you need to be very careful when you come to these deities and you say, listen, if you give me this, and at the time you are so desperate for what it is that you want, that you make an offer of this big ass extravagant or very costly item, be careful with that because you need to make sure that upon delivery of what it was that you petitioned, you can deliver what it was that you offered. So if you going out there, you saying, hey, you do this for me, and in the case of the of spirits as in liquor, I'll buy you the biggest fucking bottle of Hennessy that you ever did see, and then they deliver, and you in between paychecks or whatever the case may be, something done happened and your money kind of funny, and this big ass bottle of liquor that you promised is upwards to $80. Now I done seen it. I done been off in the store, and I remember thinking to myself one time, I don't know if they still make it, but there was this liquor that we used to be that was being made at one point, and it was in a big ass um, skull jar, and it was so pretty. And I never really did a price check on. I know they had some of the mini ones, and they was maybe like $6. So I was thinking in my head one time I had this working that I wanted to get done, and I was going to petition a certain spirit, and what I was going to offer was the big one, the big skull, right? And just so happened back then I used to really be into the hookahs like the actual hookahs that you put the charcoal on. I used to be really into that, and I had one at home. And I would go and pick up my shisha at a local liquor store because it was owned by Indians and they kept all those supplies in there. And something said, girl, check the price on that damn liquor. Man, listen. I asked the guy, I said, hey, how much is that? That motherfucker told me that it was over $100. It was like 130 something dollars. The baby. And I tell you that pumped the brakes, and I was so glad that I had not done my spell and done my petition and offered that because baby, listen, $130? Mm-mm. Nope. No ma'am. No ma'am. Not out of my pocketbook won't come. Hey, okay. So yeah, with that being said, be very careful when you offer something. Make sure it is something that you are capable of giving. Okay, and give in a timely fashion. Don't if the spirits give you what you want on Monday, why is it that it's 2 weeks later and you still haven't given what you said that you was going to give? And some of them may be I have got to get started on. I got to get this oil up done. Some of them may be, patient, and some of them may give you a little bit of time and say, okay, well, whatever the case may be, you have some lighter spirits that'll be willing to give you a little bit of time. But then you have some of them that's like, listen, bitch, I gave it to you Monday morning. I want my shit Monday afternoon. I ain't playing with you now. Don't make me have to fuck you up. So that'll work. Yeah, it's just a matter of respect. I mean, if somebody owed you some money, if somebody borrowed some money from you, and they told you that they was gonna pay you on Friday when they got their paycheck, and here it is 2 weeks later, you ain't got your damn money, but they out, living La Vida Loca and doing all this goddamn shopping and buying the newest whatever, and you ain't got your money, you gonna be looking at them a little bit crazy, right? So it's the same. Respect your spirits. You offer them money, give them their money. What they gonna spend it on? They spirits. I don't know. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't none of my goddamn business. All I'm saying is you offered it, bitch. You better pay it. Sometimes you can use that money to buy them something. Sit it on the altar for a few days, and after that, go out and buy them something tangible with it and sit it on their altar space or whatever. Or give it to charity. If you offer money and you sit it up there for a while and then it's done, give it to charity. Give it to a charity. Something that you believe that specific deity, um, if they were a physical being in this day and age, what do you think or what do you believe that they would, a cause that would be that they would believe in? You can go and donate it to that cause. Y'all will have me. I got to get this damn oil made. Um, so yeah, pay what you owe, man. Stop fucking around. Get them people their shit. Um, what else? What else? What else? There are sometimes you can give deities thanks by giving them praise um, publicly. Sometimes you don't have to offer um, big extravagant things. You could just make an offer to say thank you publicly. A lot of us are on Instagram. A lot of us are on YouTube. A lot of us are on Facebook. Get out there and make a post. Hey, if you do this for me, I will thank you publicly, and that in turn will get other people to recognize that specific deity. You bring them more, for lack of a better terms, to followers. Um, and the more followers, the more people that believe in these entities and know and are aware of these entities, the more powerful they become. You know, so a lot of them are thankful about that. Saint Expedite, I know in particular, something is in my eye, it's driving me nuts. Saint Expedite, he is very, 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 very fond of public thank yous. Okay, he absolutely loves it. So I'll just take a picture of him and I'll put thank you across it, and then I'll post it on my Instagram. And just go through and on Instagram and search for his name in the tags, and you will see hundreds of people who did the same thing, thanking Saint Expedite. Um, you also don't have to always offer things that are expensive. Sometimes you can make offerings. I worked with a particular deity not too long ago, and the offering that I made to him was that I would honor him with a candle after he was done. And that was it. And he was grateful for that. And when he was done, I went to the store. I brought his candle immediately after. Once I saw that it had came to fruition, immediately after I went and I brought his candle for him. And I lit his candle and I ain't had no problems. Okay. So yeah, you can definitely do that. So yeah, I'm making this oil, y'all, and I really, really enjoy making oil. Really do. And I take my time with them. I don't just throw stuff out there. hmm And this is a follow me for oil. So I'm really picky about the herbs that I put into my things. Every oil, I mean, every herb up here that I have is certified organic. It's just a thing that I have. Um, everything, everything is certified organic. So I sit down and I'll write out my herbs before I put them, before I do, make my oil. I write out my herbs. I'm really familiar with my herb correspondences. So, I always know what's going in it and why it's going in it. Because you can have one herb that's good for 7 different purposes. So, um, I know what's going in and why, what particular reason. Out of the 7 reasons or the 7 things that herb is good for, what thing is it that I am using it for? Why am I placing it into this jar? Why is it going into my oil? And what is its purpose? And off camera, I'm going to charge this. I'm actually speaking kind of softly today. I'm not my normal fuck up the world person mentality today. Particularly because of the type of herbs. I mean, the type of herbs that I'm working with today and the type of oils that I am creating. And I'm also making some instant blends. So yeah, I'm gonna add something else. This isn't on the recipe that I wrote down, but sometimes hair moves and they say do this, so you do it. Now, granted, that is going to have to be added. Say hey to the camera. Hi to the camera. Say hi. Okay, so you're doing a video? You want to call me back when you're done? Y'all know that voice. Yeah, give me like, I'll call you back in like 5 minutes. It won't even take that long. I'm about to wrap this up because this video is 22 minutes long. Oh man, I wish other people in my office I would say something. Say some shit. Just say it, goddammit. Oh, sucks to be you. All right. Okay, bye. I love her. So yeah. Um. So of course that extra bit of whatever that I just added, that was flour. This is where I keep my recipes at. Um. Yeah. Woo. This is where I keep my recipes at. I have like a little index card book. If you guys can see that. And in here, there's a glare, so you're not gonna be able to see, but this is where I keep my recipes for my oils. I have my oils here at the top. I have down here my hoodoo powders, and down here I have my incense blends. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this finished up because Tequila and I are supposed to be doing a graveyard dirt talk. That's why she was calling me. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my oil. My crystal quartz. And there you have it. I want to shake it too hard because that was a big ass chunk of course crystal quartz I put in there. I don't want it to crack the glass and shatter all this good juju. But there we go. And this is my follow me oil that will be available in the shop before the week's end. So I love you guys. Peace out. I got some shit that I'm going to address, but I ain't going to address it on this video because that's not what this is about. But bitch, I heard, bitch, I deal with you.